Now, this is the day that the New York Rangers have acquired Mika Zibanejad. So, what better time than today to talk about the New York Rangers? This will mean that Mika Zibanejad will be the first player that I have discussed in two opening night rosters, because he was in the Ottawa one when I did that a while back, which is fine, just fine. No, seriously, I like what the Rangers have going on right now. There's some uncertainty. Not gonna lie, there's some uncertainty here, but at least they understand they need to make improvements and they're trying. Up front, they have Kevin Nash, Derek Stepan, and Matt Zuccarello on the first line. Second line, Kreider, Zibanejad, Buchnevich, or Buchnevich, and that's a rookie. So that's pretty big reach there. But I think they're going to be looking for some new blood. Now, here's the thing. Alain Vigneault is very picky with which rookies he plays, especially top 6 minutes. He will play rookies. Uh, Vancouver fans remember him as not playing rookies. I remember him as not playing the rookies that sucked. He benched rookies pretty quick who couldn't keep up or just weren't good enough. But the rookies that were good enough stayed. So if Pavel can play, Vigneault will play him, I think. I hope. On their third line, TJ Miller, and they have Hayes in the middle, not the bad Hayes that plays in Boston, the good Hayes, and Jesper Fast on the right side. Now, TJ Miller could move up to the second line, play with Zibanejad and Zuccarello, and then I get ZZ, and then TJ's the T, and then ZZ top line has been born. I'm telling you, it works. It absolutely works. TJ Miller, Mika Zibanejad, Matt Zuccarello, make it happen. ZZ top. It's easy. It writes itself. It sells so many tickets. Okay. Fourth line, I hated to put Grabner in the lineup. To be completely honest, I did. I think if Boo Nieves or Cristobal Nieves, whatever you want to call him, if Cristobal Nieves makes an impression in camp, I could see him pushing Grabner out. I could see them throwing him on the left wing and Grabner being out of the lineup. Josh Juris in the middle and Nathan Gerbe on the right side. And Juris and Gerbe, that's a pretty good, energetic fourth line. I'm pretty impressed with those two on the team. So if you add Nieves, Grabner, I'm not so convinced of. I just don't see Grabner as a fourth liner. I just don't see it. But I have Nieves as an extra, and I have Lindbergh as an extra. Oscar Lindbergh. Lindbergh could certainly sub in for Grabner, play on the left side instead of at center. Yeah, be interesting to see what would happen there. Their blue line. I still like their blue line. I know a lot of people don't. McDonough, Girardi as first two, and then Klein and Stahl as the second two. And then I have Holden and Shea on the third. Brady Shea has been waiting his turn, and I think now is the time to give him a shot. Again, Vigneault will play rookies if they're good. And if Shea's as good as he's supposed to be, you just never know. And then for extras, I have McElrath and Clendenning. And it's hard to say that, because I wanted to put McElrath and Clendenning as the third and have Holden and Shea as the extras. I honestly don't know whether they're going to just carry all 8 and then just, depending on which teams they're playing, mess with the top 6. So play bigger defensemen when they need to, play more mobile defensemen when they need to, that kind of thing. In net, Lundqvist and Ranta. Antti Ranta, when he's playing in Chicago, I felt bad for him because I knew he was better than the number 3 goalie. But he was stuck behind Crawford and Darling. And I honestly see Ranta as a guy that if something happens to Lundqvist and he gets hurt, I think Ranta can carry the team for 10 to 15 games. I wouldn't go much past that just because he hasn't been asked to do that at the NHL level. But I really like Ranta as a backup. I like him a lot. So I like the Rangers' chances. I think they stay in the playoffs with this lineup. I don't know how far they go. I mean, there's a lot of, can their defense bounce back? Can we see them turn their puck possession numbers around and just the team in general play a better game than they did last year? Because when they met Pittsburgh, they got killed. So, you know, it's not easy getting back to the top when you've been at the top. So we'll see if they can do it or not. But I don't know. They've definitely got the manpower for it, and they got the right coach. Vigneault is the best coach the Canucks ever had, and you know he took a lot of flack when he was here, but great coach. Um, I actually miss him coaching the Canucks. Um, and here's the funny thing too. I was thinking about this when I talked about the trade for Zibanejad for Brassard, and I said, well, maybe Brassard's numbers will get better playing for Boucher. And then I remembered to myself when I was out and about today getting my T-shirts and whatnot, if Sedin's, Henrik, and Daniel both had their best offensive seasons playing for Vigneault, maybe I shouldn't underestimate his ability to coach offense. And you know, maybe Brassard had his best season he'll ever have when he was coached by Vigneault. It's just food for thought. But a lot of what happens with the Rangers is going to depend on Lundqvist. He looked really frustrated down the stretch. He looked really frustrated in the playoffs. I've never seen him pissed off like that. He was just losing it. And I have to wonder how much of that is frustration with his teammates and how much of it is just starting to feel older and starting to feel like it's tougher. It's harder to get up for every game and keep everything going for every game. Maybe he's having a hard time with it. Maybe he was struggling with injuries he didn't, talk about publicly. But either way, he didn't look like himself. Henrik Lundqvist, I always remembered him as being one of the coolest customers in the net, and just there was something different this season. So hopefully he turns that around and the Rangers get back in the thick of it, because I don't mind the Rangers at all. I like the Rangers in that division. I don't mind the Rangers at all. I'd much rather see them win than Washington any day. So hopefully this season is a good year for them, and hopefully the Zibanejad trade works out. And if Shea turns out to be a really good defenseman, they can move one of their top four and make room for him. Certainly, the advanced stats guys would be quite happy to hear Girardi got moved, or I believe Stahl has bad numbers as well for the advanced stats. So I'm not a huge follower of that myself, as I've said in other videos, but we'll see. Anyways, that's my Rangers prediction.